My name is Prince Adams, a student of Ghana Communications Technology University, and today I created a JavaScript calculator web app, and I want to walk you through the JavaScript codes. So here are my HTML codes, my CSS codes, and finally the main topic of the day, the JavaScript codes. So we will begin with getting the display elements. So this constant means that these variables, the previous operand and then the current operand, the values assigned to them are constant and cannot be changed. So if we come to what is that it comes into the HTML file and then it finds the two div elements inside the calculator screen, which is these two, which is this div element and then this other div element. And these variables allow us to change the text on the calculator screen from the JavaScript. So we come to setting up the calculator storage, setting up the calculator storage. So we use the let, we call let, then the variable current equal to a value. So here there's nothing here, meaning later on we can assign it values as we go down the line. So what this does is it stores the current number, that's the number the user is typing right now. So right now as I'm typing this is being stored. That's the current variable. The previous variable, it stores the number typed before choosing an operator. So if I type this and then I choose an operator, you see the 8 moves up here. So it stores the 8. That's what the previous variable does. And then the operation variable, it stores which operator the user selects. The operation variable, this stores which operator the user selects. So if I say 7 and then I select minus, the operation variable stores the operator that I select. So the calculator needs memory. So basically it remembers to help it. So this help is remember the number typed before the operator being typed and then the current number being typed to help perform the calculation. And then we move to updating the calculator screen. So this function, I call the function update display. So I call the function and I name the update display. So this function, what it does is it refreshes the calculator screen every time we type or click a button. So if I click this, so anytime I click a button, the screen refreshes so that whatever I typed is performed, that action is performed. Okay, so if you come to the current operand dot text content, so what it does is it shows the number we are typing. So what this does, current operand dot text content equals current. It shows the number we are typing. So right now we are typing the 7, so it shows the 7. And then the logic OR 0 is basically like a condition. So if the current number is empty, it shows 0. So right now there's 7 inside the input or on the screen of the calculator. So what is that? That if we are to delete all and then the current number is empty, then the number 0 should be shown. So that's it for the all of 0. And then we come to the previous operand dot text content equals previous. So what is that? It shows the number. So it shows the number and operator above. So what this does is sorry. So what this does is it shows the number and operator above. So if I type 7 times, so you see that it moves the number and operator to the top of the screen before finally I type the last number and then perform the operation or the calculation. So because when we type the click buttons, the JavaScript changes numbers. So that's what this function. So this function keeps the screen in sync with the data. So this function here helps to keep all of this helps to keep the screen in sync with the data. Then all the elements, move on to adding event listeners to number buttons. So document.query selector or what dot the class number, what it does is it selects all the buttons with the class number. So if you come here, you see class button number. So it selects the numbers that is from 0 to 1. It selects the numbers 0 to 1 because of the class number. So we loop through them using the for each tool here. So for each tool is used to loop through them. So when a button is clicked, we grab the number from the number data. So if you click 7, so if you come to the HTML file, you see data number 7. So this lets us detect what number the user clicked or what number you click. So if I click 8, see data number equals 8. So it shows that okay, this 8 I'm clicking is the number 8 and it shows the number 8 on the screen. So if I click here 6, it knows that okay, data number 6, and then it shows the 6 on the screen. So we move on to this if function. So what this function does is it prevents typing 2 decimal points. So let's say 3.2. You see, I'm trying to type the points, but then the point is not showing. It prevents the user or the person doing the calculation from typing in 2 points, but then the number comes. But when I type, the button is being clicked, but then the point is not showing because we've already have a point here. So if I'm to delete backwards and then bring the point here and then click a number, the point does not show again. So that is what this function does. And then current with the plus equal to value. So if you click 5, the current becomes 5. So it basically helps you to determine the current number you are clicking. So right now, if I click 5, the current number is 5. If I click 6, the current number becomes 6. If I click 2, the current number becomes 2. Then we move on to listening to operator buttons. So once again, the document.query selector or select is just like here, which targets all the button elements with the class number. This one also targets all the button elements with the class operator. It targets all the button elements with the class operator. with the class operator, but then the difference is that with this it's associated with the operators. That's the times, the minus, the plus, the divide, the clear, the current, empty, delete, equal to, and then the dot. So each of these buttons has a data action. Each of these has a data action. So if you come to an operator, so you see, so here the button, this is the button for the operator, this is the division operator. So it has a data action, and the data action is to divide. So the JavaScript knows what kind of operator was clicked. So the data action is divide. So if I click 7 divided by 3, the operator knows that it's the divide button I clicked. So it performs the division calculation. And then we move on to the clear button. The clear button, this clear button. We move on to the clear button. So what this function does, is that it clears everything. So when I click the clear, so if I have 7, if I have numbers, operators, and operands, and then I click the clear button, it clears everything, and then resets the calculator back to 0, and it also updates the screen. So so if I click the clear, it updates the screen to the current, which will be the 0, because everything has been cleared. And then we move to the clear entry, or the current empty. So this only clears current numbers. This only clears current numbers. So this if function clears the current numbers. So if I hit 7, 8, and 5, and then I click the clear entry, it clicks the current, it deletes the current numbers. So let me use 78 minus 65. So over here, these become the current, the 65 becomes the current numbers, and then the 78 becomes the previous numbers. So if I hit the clear entry, only the 65, which was the current numbers, are deleted or cleared. Then we come to the delete button. So the function of the delete button is it clears the last digit. So if action is delete, then it deletes the current digits. So it clears the digits from there. So if you keep on deleting, you clear all the digits, so you get to the 0, and then it stays. So the slice 0, -1, you remove the last character of the string. So it removes the last character, which is the 8. And then we come to the equal button. So with the equal button, it will only run when there is an operator and operand. That's, we have the previous number, the current number, and then the operator, which is either multiply, subtract, add, or divide. It will only work when there are numbers and operators on the screen. If there are not any, it doesn't perform any action. So here is 5 plus 3. You click the equal to, it calculates it and gives you 8. So that's the JavaScript code for the equal button. So we move on to the operator, to select an operator. So if current equal this, return. So it prevents clicking an operator without typing number first. So this prevents you from clicking an operator without typing the number first. So if you don't have the 8 here, you cannot. So here there's 8, so you see, click the multiplication. But if there is no number, you cannot click the operator first. You cannot click the operator first. And then this line of code, it stores the current value as previous. So if 7 and then I add an operator, then it stores it as previous. It stores it as previous. And then the operation action. So what this does is it saves the operation type. So the action, which is equal to add, the action equals add, subtract, multiply, or divide. So any action I click, that's the symbol after the number, it gets saved to the previous. And then, so what this line of code also does is it clears the current input so the user can type the second number. It clears the current input so the user can type the second number. So if this was the current input, it clears it, as in it moves it to previous, then it allows you to click another number. So on and so forth. So now here is the calculation performance. So here it converts string to real numbers. So you convert the string. So if you all these are strings, so what it does is it converts the string into real numbers. That's the previous, the current. It converts them to real numbers. And then we use the switch keys. So if it's the addition operation I clicked, then the result will be the previous plus the current. Then it will give you the answer. If it was subtract, it will be the previous minus the current, and then you get your result. If it was multiply, the previous times or asterisk the current, and then you get your answer. Same goes for the divide. So finally we come to the current equals result dot to string, then the previous equals the double quotes, and then operation equals now. So this converts results back to string. It converts the results back to string. So 5 plus 3. 5 plus 3. The result is 8. It's converted back into a string. So what the previous does is it clears previous, and then the operator, it resets the operations. So that is it for my JavaScript codes that I used in collaboration with my HTML and CSS codes to create this wonderful JavaScript calculator app. Thank you.